On. Salamat Sore, Taman Taman. Welcome back to another episode of Collaborators Without Direction, a tabletop adventure game where the players explore the Southeast Asia-inspired lands of Yoon-Suin. Currently, we're using the Whitehack rule set. My name is Gobin, my pronouns are he, him, and it is my task as referee to narrate the world around them as the characters seek adventure. We'll pass it off to our first player, Billy. Tell us your name, pronouns, and remind everyone who your character is.
I'm Billy, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Dr. Levinson, the fortunate slug man.
Alright. And Maggie?
My name is Maggie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm playing Hokama, who is a wise, heart-stealing human.
Alright. Before we get started, if you missed any of the previous sessions, I recommend going back and watching them on the Collaborators Without Direction YouTube channel when you have the chance. We've been playing through the Deep Carbon Observatory Adventure module by Patrick Stewart and Scrap Princess, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it. Or at least we've been having a time doing it. And we'd love for you to join us again, so now on with the show. When we left off last time, the collaborators had finally stepped out into the afternoon sun after a harrowing passage through the hidden tomb within the Dolong Dam. The river valley before them was covered in a gray-blue mat of mud that had accumulated over the centuries, and the sunlight gleamed in odd, strange, curved spots all along the sloped valley walls. Across the valley floor, easily visible even from the distance of many miles, was a colossal square pit descending into the earth. A towering pillar of steam incessantly billowed forth from the hole. Surrounding the pit were elephantine blocks of polished black stone, each taller than a house in the Yellow City. Menacing spikes stabbed full 60 feet into the air at uncomfortable angles, and atop the tallest spikes were curved mirrors that focused the light in towards the crater. But between this foreboding location and the collaborators were the remains of a once floating village of reed boat houses. And between the collaborators and the village was a massing horde of Capex. Seeing no way around the horde of Newt people, the collaborators descended and allowed themselves to be taken prisoner by them and brought before their crimson captain, Carl. The Carl explained the generations-long feud between the Capex and the Reed people, how the Capex blamed the Reed people for the loss of the sacred waters of the lake, and then pressed the collaborators into providing a human shield for the initial probing attack against the village. As the collaborators slogged through the mud towards the village, their Newt comrades slithered through the mud at their heels. Eventually the villagers noticed and fired a volley of arrows at the group, killing a few of the Capex and sending the others running, and mildly injuring Hokama. Seeing the Capex flee, the villagers grabbed the collaborators and dragged them before their chieftain, Acton Bengana, who explained the generations-long feud between the Reed people and the Capex, and how the Reed people blamed them for the loss of the sacred waters of the lake, and demanded the collaborators assist them. During the discussion between people who shared only fragments of a similar language, the chief learned that the collaborators had experience with the risen dead, and he demanded they find their mummified chieftains and raise them to help defend the village against the Capex horde. The collaborators, again seeing no other option, went to the site of the crashed pyrite boats, where they found the pyritized corpses of the former chieftains. With a bit of luck and ingenuity, Buscoso and Hokama were able to awaken one of the chieftains, explain the situation to him, and he in turn awoke the remainder. By the time the collaborators returned to the village with the pyritized chieftains, a large contingent of the Capex horde had assembled just beyond arrow range of the village. Buscoso used his knowledge of Duende creations to raise a short wall directly between the Capex and the village, but it won't hold for long. Now it is mid-afternoon. The sun in splendor casts its light down upon your skin. It dries and bakes the blue-gray mud around your feet. the wall Buscoso raised is the same color as the mud and stylized after the walls surrounding mountain temples of his people. From beyond the wall you can hear the croaking war cries of the Capex swarm. The villagers around you shake in their reed sandals and clutch their fishing spears. Their headman, Acton Bengana, stands before the crowd giving his best rallying speech. Even though their piratized chieftains kneel ceremoniously behind the headman, you sense that the crowd is not particularly inspired. You cannot understand much of the words he says, but you fully understand the stakes and know that these people are drastically outnumbered and stand no hope of surviving this battle without serious help. Just then, you hear the change in pitch, or you hear the change in the pitch as the Capex war cries change from chants to an all-out scream. The dozen or so archers on Buscoso's wall begin firing their bows, but you know they will do little to stem the tide. It's time for war. Alright.
Wow.
Scene change.
What if you just, like, slipped out in the confusion?
Alright, so, let me add Doc. So, this is the... Why are there two... Oh my goodness, what the fucking fuck?
I don't know either.
There's like 2 layers of this shit, but I can only see 1 layer on mine, even though it's the GM layer and should be able to see everything. Admittedly, as you can see, I replaced everything on there almost exactly where it had been before. So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to delete some of these. Yeah, do you have any plans that you want to do in like the few seconds before basically... I mean, so as you can see here to the southeast, there's the Capex who are swarming. They can't really get over the wall here that Buscoso made is about 10 feet tall. And the archers have climbed up the backside and are like in between, you know... There's not much cover atop the wall. It was like made in a couple minutes out, like raised out of the mud. So it's not like, it's not fancy by any means, but it does have some like formations along the top where they can take a modicum of coverage behind. But other than that, they are pretty much exposed up here, and it's just tall enough that the Capex will have a very difficult time getting over it because they're like 3 to 4 feet tall.
Little horrible newt men.
Yeah.
Well.
You're currently, I just put y'all in like in the center there. There's just like people milling around. You're in like the crashed remains of this like floating village. These like woven reed structures aren't meant to like sit on the ground. They're meant to be this floating structure, but the river drained, or the lake drained, and now it's dropped down into the mud.
Is there any fishing line around?
Sure.
Could I make some into a bundle and attach them to a couple arrows? As like I don't know. I would like to like kind of have a bundle around a few arrows as like ready to go for making kind of a tether between two points.
So like you're trying to grab some fishing line and attach like a knot of these to a bunch of arrows, or like just have a handful of arrows with some fishing line attached to each individual one?
Yeah,
okay.
A handful of the same.
So like arrow plus 20 feet of fishing line times 6.
It'd probably be a little bit. Well, like maybe more than 20 feet, but yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Fishing
Yeah,
lines
yeah,
like
I guess if you're thinking like, yeah, 20 feet's probably good. Yeah, so times 6. We'll just call it 6.
sure. Well, it's gonna take like a minute to find those, and then a minute to like fashion stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get started on that process.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you really need to. Well, okay. Just roll something for me for that. You don't really need a roll to do this. It's just like a roll for catastrophe.
What's the roll?
Whatever skill you would be using to do this. I feel like intelligence with master engineer because you're engineering something.
Yeah, intelligence. That's good.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll that with advantage.
Oh, well. Good thing I haven't finished. Oh, yes, very good.
Slightly better.
Oh, wait, this is the roll under system, right?
Yeah. So like
That's
one's
what I'm
fine,
using.
but like if you can nail
But
that
3?
15, that's even better. Yeah. So
But
let's.
3, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Like you get started and you are working on that. What is Hokuma doing?
look, I have no idea. Hokuma wants nothing to do with anything that's happening. Hokuma's walked into the middle of 2 houses that are both alike in dignity and wants fucking out. But I think just leaving.
I'm also pretty okay with being out, but
I don't know if we can just leave because, like, we do have to come back through here if we survive whatever is inside the steam pit.
Sure. A few things that are obvious to Hokuma and Levinson, obvious to your characters, are that, like you said, this is the only place. This is the only inhabited area. I don't know what the right word is. Like, this is the only population center that you saw from the perch point up in the dam. Like there's no one else out here. There's fucking no one north of the dam.
It would be good for the people here to like us.
Right. Well, either one of the peoples here, because
whoever survived
are
the fight,
intelligent.
Want them to like us.
Yeah, the Capex are intelligent. The Carl is like can hold a decent conversation with you and get into philosophical diatribes.
Part of me so you're telling me, so based on your description before, it seems like if we do nothing, the Carl wins this fight.
Yes, the Capex severely outnumber the Reed people.
What if, like, we just betrayed the Reed people and, like, Carl wins?
What are our kind of...
Because, like, whatever the easiest path to, there's a group of people here and they don't want to kill us, is the route that Hokuma wants to take. Because, like, if Hokuma just, sets fire to the village in the middle of the village being defended, and everything's completely fucked.
And I set fire to the village.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Hey, Carl, like, I won that battle for you." like they got fucking shreked.
Yeah.
That might be good. Carl seems less wealthy than the Reed people, but like,
Well, you know, what he's gonna have the wealth of the Reed people if he wins the battle.
yeah, and he'll probably be willing to part with some of it. He might be, yeah. I don't know, Doc Levinson. How do you feel about completely fucking just pure scumbag, like just full on like start a war and then Kingmaker it?
Now,
These
to
Kingmaker.
to even things out here, because it's the Reed people are speaking a language that is descended from the Dam Makers.
Yeah.
And you have only been like attempting to converse this, but you did learn some of this from hieroglyphics on the walls inside the tomb, and only a little bit from the entombed bureaucrats.
Yeah.
So you have like a written portion that is tied to this oral portion of it.
It is true. If they all die, then Hokuma can't learn how to, like they are the best resource Hokuma has for the Dam Builder language, and Hokuma is here just for the dam, like stuff written in the Dam Builder language.
Another point I wanted to make was that Levinson has I've dealt with these people before. They're not. There's no bargaining with them or any sort of.
The K-Pax?
They have only their objective and no seeming way to dissuade them of that. They will kill us and they'll kill everyone and they'll just be them. There's no reasoning with them.
All right. I mean, like, Hokuma
I mean,
has
that is true of
contrary,
the. Well, that is true of like the White K-Pax.
I tried to reason with them before.
Yeah, the White K-Pax absolutely, but like Carl was different.
Carl was totally someone we could negotiate with. However, you know, you are the slug in charge here, and you know, you're gonna be racist. Hokuma can be racist with you.
I'll just be a little racist.
Hokuma's like,
I
this
tried
is not
to reason with
we're
them.
about to
I
kill
tried to
people.
reason with them. They wouldn't be reasoned with, so you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah, okay.
These guys seem much more friendly. They're very open to reason, obviously, since they're not shooting at us at the moment.
Yeah, and they're shaped like people you're familiar with.
We can negotiate with these people. We can't. There's no negotiating with those people.
Okay. If you say so, Doc Levinson.
I was but a puff of ether in the conversation with Carl.
Yeah. Merely a memory of Hokuma's.
All right, so a real quick note about the map here. This is not like 1-to-1 because I wasn't going to put literally 100, like 200 tokens on this map. Yeah. This is like each of these K-Pex is like 10 K-Pex.
A battle group.
Yeah, it's like 10 K-Pex, and the same with the Reed people. It's like 10 or a dozen Reed people, you know, and the Pyrite chiefs here are all of, you know, the whole group of them, but Acton Bengana here is an individual. That's like just him, and I mean, I don't know. I'll say maybe like a few like close guards around him.
What do the Reed people have in terms of defenses?
They had built a like shoulder high woven reed wall around the village, but that you know, it's a shoulder-high woven reed wall versus like 100 capex. Because there was the whole group that Buscoso and Hokuma saw at the beginning of, or interacted with last session, was about 100. And there are maybe 70 reed people total, not including, or like that, and that is including non-combatants. Like their total combat force is maybe 3 dozen.
All right. Well, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare from one of my pints of like lantern kerosene or whatever lamp oil is. Maybe it's whale oil. I don't know. Fish oil. Flammable oil.
Just amber.
Is I'm going to prepare it into like a Molotov cocktail, essentially.
Okay.
And I'm going to. I know I can approach the wall. Can I get on top of the wall? Well, maybe I don't want to end my turn on top of the wall.
I mean, it's not going to be. It's not going to be that tactically minded there. Also, like, turns aren't necessarily. Turns in a battle are not going to be 6 seconds long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but just, I'm going to, like, stand up on top of this wall and end my turn, but, I suppose, like, I'm not taking my turn. We haven't rolled initiative.
No, this is, like, the battle is starting. I want to give y'all a chance to, like, get your footings and decide your trajectory.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to prepare, like, a burning pool of oil. And because I think it's going to scare the fucking shit out of these Capex.
Do the reed people have oil? Can we just like dump a bunch of oil in a
They
bucket?
do not. They live they live on a lake with, or in houses made out of thatched reeds.
Everything about the location we are in suggests that the use of fire as a weapon has not been introduced to these people. So, like, everything is suggesting at least to Hokuma that the terror that being burned alive inflicts upon someone will be deeply impactful upon all parties. Yeah, Hokuma's going to prepare burning lantern oil and is going to, I suppose, like, join up with like this battle group over here.
Okay.
To like be like at one edge of the wall. To like peak cover.
Yeah. All right.
And I guess that's how I'm going to start this fight.
Actually, I'm going to move these back here and say that these 4 are the 4 back here are non-combatants. I'm trying to find a symbol to there we go. That's gonna be Does that make sense? So these 4 groups are non-combatant groups, while like these 3 and the Pirate Chiefs and Acton Bengana are combat groups.
Yeah.
All right.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, in that case, we'll roll initiative here.
I'm just gonna hit
Roll
the big
PCs.
1,000,000 dice button.
Hell yeah.
Rolling for every.
Yeah, see, like, what am I going to do? Put 200 combatants in here and just be like, all right, round one. Oh, these ones move 30 feet forward. These ones move 30 feet forward. These ones move 30 feet forward and fire a missile weapon. Roll to hit. Damage. Be like, that would be rough. All right, up first is fucking Doc.
No shit. Can I? I'll hold my action, but I want to prepare tying one of the arrows off onto the crossbow. In preparation to shoot after Hokuma throws her grenade.
Mm-hmm. So you're backing up Hokuma, and you're going to, like, what's the trigger that you're waiting for here?
For Hokuma to throw the grenade.
Oh, okay. And then you're going to
Molotov.
And then you're going to do what with your
Shoot
weapon?
the crossbow.
Shoot the crossbow? Like with one of the special arrows that
Yes.
you're working on?
Yes.
Okay, well, roll 1d4.
Okay.
That's how many arrows you have. That's how many arrows you have made so far. Oh, fucking
Shit,
Winslow.
Better make it a good one.
Yeah.
Winslow.
All right. Are you gonna do anything else with your turn there?
I guess I should get in position with Hokuma, like near Hokuma.
I mean, you're fine here.
Okay,
Like
that's
you
fine.
can get closer
Yeah.
if you want, or not. Like it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
the ranges here, the inside of the range here is like the inside the village is what I'm saying. This is within arrow range, and then everything
Okay.
out here is visible but beyond range.
Okay.
I just picked, a side of the wall I'm on.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very abstract, both like number-wise and distance-wise. So yeah, you're definitely well within range where you're at. You don't necessarily need to move unless you're trying to move in a way that sets up something else.
I just want to be in range of where I think that Hokuma is going to throw the Molotov.
Okay.
I want to have a clear line of sight to where I think she's going to throw it.
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going to throw it?
I would hope center of mass, I guess. So yeah, that would be my thought. Was like I want to have a line of sight to the center of mass of the oncoming enemy.
Okay. Sure. What do I click? Yes. Oh, right. I have to hit begin combat. There we go. And Hokuma's turn. Yeah, now that you've got this Molotov, now that you've got this Hokuma cocktail.
Yes. Yeah, to the Reed people, it will forever be known.
It's the Hokuma cocktail.
Yes.
I don't know if they've got alcohol.
Hokuma's tea.
Hokuma's brew.
Yeah.
Hokuma
Anyways.
blue.
So yeah, I guess just fucking pick one of these K-Pec groups. This one's closest to where I am.
It seems reasonable. This is a thrown weapon.
Yeah, this one's closest to where I am. So
Okay.
like, you can just chuck it and just like, just like, fuck them, you know?
Yeah. Roll. I guess roll your attack value to hit there because this is definitely an attack.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess I'll just roll like, I don't know, my sling. It's a ranged weapon.
yeah, that's fine, and just
Maybe
disregard
I'm just using my sling to throw it. That seems insane though.
That seems insane. Unlike anything else that these people have done.
God damn it.
I mean, okay, so roll another all right, so you missed, but roll roll 2d10. $16. All right.
Nice.
Now roll 1d12. So that's how far away it went, and 1d12 will be on a clock face how or which direction you threw it.
Oh no.
6.
Well.
Okay. So it lands south of them 16 feet, which is, now I'm like, this is,
Yes.
all right.
Shit.
Shit. There we go. Boom.
I think.
We taking a second because I could use a bathroom break. Oh, okay.
You good there, Maggie?
Yes. It was tearing. I was like,
Oh,
someone
okay.
is knocking on my door.
Billy just said he wanted to use the bathroom break, so let's finish this round and then
It's
we'll
all
take
good.
a quick bio break.
Absolutely. Fuck them up. So yeah, so that's
Bio
on
slash
fire.
refill break. Yeah, there's a like blob of fire there now. It like shatters on the ground and some fire sprays around, and it's just like this oil is on the ground and is burning. Actually, let's see. Go ahead
I
and
did have a ready action.
roll 1d4.
Okay, 1d4.
Mm-hmm.
Dose.
Dose. Okay. All right. So you do catch two of the Capex in that group are just like burning on fire right now. Yeah, actually, that will be a morale roll for all of them. /R. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5d12. Five, 10, 8, 2, 4. What is their morale?
Good for.
A little worse. Or maybe a little better.
Huh. Good God, man. What is the morale?
These two groups flee.
Shit.
Oh,
They're just
wow.
like, oh shit, and
What the fuck is that?
yeah, they broke ranks and fled. So they see this like fire explode. It takes out a couple of their ranks. I'm actually going to move those. Nah, actually, those are fine. So there's the fire there, and they break ranks and just run. I'll move them a little more that way because they're running away from the fire. And yeah, it's just like this big like area of fire, and the reed people beside you, you hear them just like they're staring at you and are just like, oh my, what, like what? Like they're clearly confused. Like again, you don't speak the same language, so you don't know exactly what they're saying, but you understand what they mean.
That's a war crime?
Yeah.
Yeah, all these people are being sporting about this war, and Hoka was like, napalm.
I mean, I don't know if they're being sporting so much as they just, you know.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, Hoka was just like, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Someday this battle's gonna be over.
That smell, that burning smell. You know what I felt when I smelled that? I felt safe.
All right, now it's the Reed people's turn. So they are.
I had a ready to action.
Oh right, you did. You did.
Bang bang.
So you're gonna fire on this group of Capex?
So I'm gonna fire after I see them retreating.
Yeah.
I would like to fire on what was remaining. I assume that they're in some amount of water.
It's just like deep mud. Like it's shin deep mud, and they are only like 3 feet tall. There's not a whole lot of water really going on. It's just like a bunch of mud, really.
Okay.
This is this is the bottom of a kilometer deep lake.
So I'd like to. I'll shoot at a clump.
Okay.
A group of Capex.
Okay. Yeah. Roll your attack there. Cool. Is it a short bow or is it a crossbow?
I thought I had a crossbow, but I have short bow in my weapons.
Guess it's a short bow.
Guess it's a short bow now.
Bang bang.
But then could I also use shoot lightning from my finger on the.
That's right. I was like, how do you do that? I forgot that that's your superpower.
I would like to grab onto my fishing line and use the electricity.
Okay.
Shock.
Sure. Fuck.
How many I can't. I don't know what that attack is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Roll. Just fucking. Well, it's an attack, so roll an attack value.
AV.
Yeah, just roll your AV, and
Just AV.
and roll with advantage.
How do I just roll my AV?
Just do a regular attack. Like any other attack is gonna roll against your AV anyways.
Oh.
Can you roll with advantage?
That passes. That also passes. So an 8.
But worse. That passes, but worse.
Yeah, an 8.
An 8.
12.
Yes. So 8 definitely hits. Roll. Ooh. All right. Now I have to establish how much damage this does.
Yeah.
For like going down fishing line, I'll say D6 -2.
It's a bad shock. Fuck.
Nice.
Max
Fuck.
damage.
All right. And these guys are gonna roll. You like fried one of these Capex. You just like you shoot this lightning down and it like seizes on the ground and is like you can tell even from this distance that those are not movements conducive with life.
Yeah. It's a dead giveaway.
It sure is a dead giveaway. But they've also fallen below half health. Okay, but they keep it together.
Nice. I mean, it's bad, but like this group of Capex right here is hard fucking core.
Yeah, this is gonna be like one of the veteran crews on the next, assuming that they survive, because now it is the Reed people's turn, and they are going to. This group is going to move forward to engage this group of Capex, while the archers up here are also going to fire on them. Did I have... Okay, I've got Acton and the Chiefs coming up later. Alright. Let's see how well these Reed people do.
Not great for a roll under system.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, 16, that's great. Actually, no, that's not good.
That's bad.
This
Not good.
is, in fact, not good. And
Like
it
a
is...
4.
Christian.
Right, so they are going to take some damages instead. So they run out, and these are just like fishers who are like the strong and capable fishermen, basically, and they run out to fight these Capex, and these Capex are... This group of Capex is going hard, and they using their like pointed sticks for spears and their makeshift clubs just engage with this group of fishermen and immediately beat them back.
I mean, they sound well fucking motivated.
I mean, these Capex are not only well motivated. This specific group of Capex, is not only well motivated, but are also like wrecking shit.
Yeah, like 2 of them got lit on fire. 1 of them got electrocuted, and they were like, "We will hold the line.
It is.
We
We will
witness
not
horrors
retreat."
beyond our comprehension, and we will hold the line."
I mean, if you encounter something beyond comprehension, you've got 2 things you can do. You can turn and run, or you can be like, I don't know what that is. I'm going to keep doing what I was intending to do already.
Fight or flight.
Yep. But this group of Reed people are going to fire the archers on the walls are going to fire another round, another volley. Which doesn't hit.
What?
Oh no! Oh, sorry. They are unarmored. I was looking at the the Reed people have armor as leather, but the Capex are unarmored. So armor like brings up the bottom. So because they rolled a 1, it wouldn't have passed. But
Apex naked.
yeah.
Apex naked.
Dick out. Spears pointed.
I don't know what newts have. I think they have cloaca.
They do.
They're amphibians.
Yes.
Anyways. That's
I've
for
seen
those
a
Capex.
salamander sex in a nature documentary. It's slimy, predictably.
I mean,
As
there's
all good
salamanders.
sex should be.
Can I? Nope, that's... I can't put like a little X on top of them. Oh, wait.
I see the
I know how
skull.
I did that.
Oh, they turned sideways.
Yeah, I turned them.
Bad.
He's
They're
tapped.
so small and dead.
Got
I
tapped.
forgot. I got to put it on from here. Put them back in the combat. There we go.
Oh, goodbye, Capex.
And add these ones to the combat to make up for that. And this group of reed people is going to hold the line at the wall here, and
Always on time.
now it is Acton Bengana's turn. He and his group are going to stay back here, you know, managing, surveying the scene. They don't see the need to move forward just yet. And finally, the Pyrite chiefs are going to move up by the wall, but they are going to stay there behind the wall. Now, what was the... shit, I already removed them, so I don't have their... that initiative they originally had. Capex, we're at 3. There we go. 4, 4, 4. Oh, so they should have gone after the reed people. Whoops. All right. Yeah, this group of... These two groups of Capex are going to move this way and attack this group of reed people on the left flank. They are each going to roll to hit. 20. All right, so neither of them are effective against this group of reed people. The first group attacked, but rolled a 1? No. Oh, the 8 hits. Okay, yeah, so it's 8 and 14. I was looking at it. It's doing that weird thing where it said reed people, even though I ran... You know, I was trying to roll as the Capex. So the 14 is going to miss. The 8 is going to hit. They are... And the Capex, again, are apparently, even, you know, just because they outnumber them, you might think like, oh, they're clearly going to be, you know, the weaker of the combatants here. But they are... apparently not, and they are wrecking these this group of reed people too, and several of them fall to the Capex makeshift weapons. And that is going to be the end of this round. So we'll take a quick bio break. I'll roll these.
Did the reed people on the wall go?
Yeah, the reed people on the wall fired on and killed
Oh,
that group
yes,
of
that's
Capex.
what killed them, yes.
Yeah. Bites as the dust. Alright, we'll be back in just a few minutes for the continuation of this battle. Alright, back from that. On to... oh, right. New rolls. Yeah, new rolls. for everybody. No, stop that. Reset, roll. There we go. Dice, 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 dice. Oh, that Capex should not still be in the battle. Wow. Oof. Capex rolling low. Alright, Hokama up front.
Oh shit. Oh crap. Alright. Pokemon. Gonna fucking. I think Hokuma's gonna get atop the wall.
Okay.
And
Yeah, the Reed people have, like, piled a few things up along the back side of the wall, because it's, like, 10 feet tall. But they piled some things along the back side of the wall that you can, like, get up onto it there.
alright. And she's gonna draw her spear.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna get herself above the Capex.
Oh, and try to stab down at them?
Yeah, stab down at them.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Roll for an attack there. Keep in mind that if you're up on top of the wall there, they also have spears and stuff, and will be able to spear you back.
It's true. God damn.
Oof.
Reap. Hey,
Yeah.
that's better than one more.
Boy, is it.
Alright, so the Capex are just, like, too short for you to really, like, get a good stab in there. And, you know, like, your spear isn't, like, a pike. You know, it's just, like, a personal spear there. So it's not quite, the geometry isn't quite working out right now. Enough to do any, like, solid damage on the group. Now it is Levinson's turn.
Okay, I'd like to shoot another. Oh, I only made one.
Yeah, you only made one. You can take a round and
I like
make
to pull
another.
it. I like to pull it back so it's closer to me, and then just shoot a normal arrow.
Sure. Make a strength. Make a strength check there.
Okay. No
Okay.
problem.
Yeah. You pull this bolt out of the Capex.
Of course.
You like give it a good yank and it snaps out or like pops out, and you're able to like pull the bolt back towards you.
And I'll just keep that at my feet for now, but I'll load another one and fire it. Well, I have a short bow. It's not even a.
It is an arrow. You're right.
Yeah, so I'll just fire another volley.
At one of these groups down here.
Yeah.
To the left. I mean, I guess they're they're the only groups that are around right now.
Yeah. Bang bang.
Shots down. Oh, is that a crit?
That's a crit.
Oh,
For
nice.
1 damage?
Yeah, you fire into this group and are able to the newts are like softer than humans are, so you're able to fire this arrow and it passes through one and then hits the other one and takes down both of them.
Shit.
Is the bard playing some like fucking metal right now?
It is. It's playing some
Okay.
Bloodywood. Yeah, I threw that in the battle music. because it's like it fits. But I think it
I
doesn't
wasn't
quite.
sure if my Spotify from earlier when I was listening to like Blind Guardian was on. So, just
No,
really low in the background.
this is some Bloodywood. Repping the Bloodywood hoodie I got here. Oh,
Oh, nice.
oh, check no, like check out the back here. Like this thing's solid. Oh, fucking war paint Ganesha on the back. All right, but yeah, I think it kind of clashes with the taiko drumming, so I'll probably pull it out and make a different battle music for it. Anyways, are you moving anywhere, Levinson?
No, I'm good.
All right.
You're comfy.
I'm good where I'm at. So the new Blind Guardian like single that came out is called Blood of the Elves.
Nice. All right. The reed people are. This one is attacking this group of Capex here, so they're going to roll that AV. They're ineffective in their. They're able to like push this group. These with the help of Muscoso's wall, they're able to push this group of Capex back a little bit, but they're not really doing much to hold their ground there.
Not reduce their magnitude.
Pop, pop.
Yeah, well, in return though, they are like they do sustain several injuries on their own side, so they are. While they did not reduce the Capex, they are reduced a little themselves. This group is going. The archers are going to fire another volley of arrows.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
All right. Maggie, roll a saving throw. Roll a saving throw for
We're
Hokama.
gonna say that.
No, no, do you get shot by our NPC archers?
No.
Look, my just fucking ducks.
I've been
Yeah.
playing too much XCOM lately, Gobin. This is all feeling very familiar.
Yeah, no, you don't get hit, but like arrows are whizzing uncomfortably close to you as they are not effectively damaging the Capex there.
Just hit the wall around me.
Yeah, like flipping off the wall beside you. I'm thinking like you know Angkor Wat. You know what Angkor Wat looks like, the walls and stuff there, like that, but without any of like the fancy artwork embossing, like none of the sculptures. But like the shapes is what the outline of this wall is like. So it's like, I don't know, sort of like a Toblerone across the top of it at least.
Toblerone.
Yeah, like a series of pyramids.
Yes.
Anyways. Wait. All right. Acton is going to stay there, and the Chiefs are going to stay as well. The Capex are going to the Capex are going to one of them is going to attack the Reed people, and the other group is going to attack Hokama. First is the Reed people. Brutal.
Ooh.
That's -1. The Reed people need. Sorry, I should have rolled this earlier, but they need to roll for morale. That's a fail.
Uh-oh.
They fucking beef it.
They just die because of low morale.
Would these fucking Pyrite Kings do some shit?
Yeah. Well, in that case, they probably they need to now. They were just like, we don't need to hold back, but then these guys got attacked, and I will actually have these Pyrite Chiefs move forward. at the same time. So this other group of Capex, seeing the Pyrite Chiefs move forward, is going to attack them. And 18 misses. Yeah, so they they don't really get any attacks off against either you or the Chiefs there. That's
All right.
That's that. Next round. No, next round and initiative. Initiative for everyone. All of the dice. Burr, 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 burr. It's a Hokama again.
All right then.
You and your initiative bonuses.
Yeah, Okama's real speedy. Hokama does not have an initiative bonus.
I know, that was a tiff.
Yeah.
Alright, what's Hokama doing?
I mean, I could give him another stab.
Yeah. There's 20 of them down there.
Yeah. Maybe I'll light him on fire again.
Well, you don't have another Molotov prepared right now, so you would have to take a either make a roll to do it super speedily or take a turn to do it right.
I'll take that roll.
All right. I don't know what's Hokama gonna do to do that.
Not Dex, not Dex.
Yeah, not Dex. I was like,
make an argument for not Dex. Hokama is gonna use her just her constitution of getting of doing the process of lighting something on fire hastily and you know how have you ever been around someone who just has a tremendous amount of experience handling fire and they're just incredibly blasé about it, not because they're especially dexterous. They just are so used to being around open flame that they're that they've lost the sense of fear. That she's going to move with just sort of perhaps foolish courage.
All right. Roll. Yeah, you can roll con for that and roll with a +2.
The +2?
Yeah.
Nice.
Your con is normally +2, right? Or sorry, what's your con normally?
Normally 11.
You rolled +2, but you rolled an 11. So that seems like a crit to me. You rolled the score there.
It would be a crit if you hadn't given her +2.
Yes.
Yeah, seems like you should kind of give her the crit.
Seems like a crit to me.
If we were rolling dice,
yeah,
physical dice, I'd be like, that's an 11.
No, but you did. You rolled an 11.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying,
the roll.
Yeah. Anyway,
rolled the hard 11.
But
all right.
So yeah. So we'll treat that as a crit there, and roll. So roll the attack. So you got that off very quickly, just set it up. Or maybe you already had it set in a way that it was hazardous to store, unsafe to store like that, and you're just whatever. If it burns, it burns.
Just Roy Mustanging it. It's fucking snapping fire.
All right.
Yeah. Roll to attack. What did I have you roll last time there?
Just a normal attack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So roll that.
Oh no!
You know what? I fucking hate D&D.
Yeah.
This game sucks. This game sucks. It is just one continuous practical joke
Oh boy.
being played on me.
Fucking back-to-back crits there.
Oh my
Crit
god.
success followed by crit fail. Oh boy.
Well,
You want to roll on that that fumble chart doesn't seem to make sense really with
What happened, DM?
I think you just like drop it at your feet,
oh fuck.
which
Off
is
the
going
fire?
to yeah, that's going to hit everyone, all 4 groups right there. Actually, no, just the 3 groups. So the
I
Pyrite
imagine the
Chiefs,
Pyrite
the
Chiefs are pretty
Capex,
hard to
and
light on
Hokama.
fire.
Yeah, roll.
Damage.
Yeah, roll 1d6 minus 1. Big money, no whammies.
The whammies have already happened.
4.
All right.
Ow.
Ow.
Well, Hokuma's at 1 hit point again.
Right.
Shit.
Shit. Ugh.
I suppose these Capex are just like, ah.
Yeah, there's this huge explosion up there, and they need to roll that morale, that googity morale.
I'm just imagining Hokuma just lights it on fire and the glass just explodes
8.
in her hand.
Yeah, just like like, yeah, I've done this a million times before. Boom!
Oh fuck!
This'll get them. That is 8 is above their morale, so they also scoot the fuck away. They run in terror from this hitherto unforeseen force of destruction.
It's just a terror upon the world.
And another roll for this final group. They are also going, because everyone else they are the last one standing. They also run away. Yep.
Yeah.
So they run away as well. At this point, the
Pokemon on fire.
Oh yeah, you are like covered in cloth. So yeah, absolutely, you are on fire.
All right, Hokuma's gonna jump into the mud.
Just like.
Yeah, just like panic, it's like on fire, falling, jump into the mud and roll in it.
All right, roll intelligence. Actually, roll wisdom. Roll your wisdom.
I assume the fact that I'm a heart stealer is not relevant to putting yourself out.
No.
Well, there we go.
All right. So on a success, you jump inside the wall.
Okay. You know what? I like good, clean successes. Not I don't trust this anymore.
Not rambunctious, close to crits.
All right.
Okay,
so as the
and is filthy.
as the Capex, retreat, the remaining Reed people stand there, and some of the villages start to cheer as they retreat. But the chieftain, like he is like cutting them off, like telling them, like stop. We haven't won yet. There will be more.
The war isn't over.
Yeah, exactly. And as you, even as he says this, you can see over by the Black Bridge to the southeast. You can see the Carl Capek is up on top of one of the posts with the crowns on top of them. The Carl Capek is like surveying the scene, and you can see as all of the masses of Capex have regrouped and are licking their wounds, so to speak. But for right now, there is no apparent offensive action. So you are free within the village to move around a little bit.
Imagine Carl's got to rethink some things with this whole fire situation.
Speaking of rethinking things, the let's say as you're like laying there in the mud, like face down and covered in this wet mud to put this fire out, one of the privatized chiefs like gives you a hand to stand back up.
Torch.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Yeah, well, you're
badly
I would say that you are like covered in fire, or like charred, but you're just covered in mud at this point. You are painted in mud.
Yeah, and aching with burns.
Yeah. Acton. The Reed people combatants who are running away up here are they're getting medical attention from the other from the non-combatants up here. They're drinking some of that, or they're like rubbing in that bacterial brew that you were given last time, and they're like putting it in their cuts to like, or their injuries, I should say, to like stem the flow of bleeding and help promote the healing energies.
Hokuba just like winces as she realizes what's in store for her. That was disgusting to drink.
So like the chief walks up to Hokuma and says, what I can't even I'm not in the backstroke of the West headspace anymore. I can't do these language games as easily.
The Parliament is upset.
The Presbyterian Church enjoys you not. Batter to death them.
Imagine Hokuma's talking in back
to
the West language.
Well, like, I'm just putting it that way to you, so that like you, the player, has to. Yeah, that like those are the words that are coming through to you. Like they are obviously fluent in the language that they speak on a daily basis their entire lives. Well, maybe not obviously. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
you don't know who the village idiot is.
Hopefully not the guy in charge.
Hopefully not the guy in charge.
If you don't know the village idiot, it's probably you.
Oh boy. All right, so yeah, he comes up and he's like bewildered, like amazed by this fire that you produced in these mass quantities, and not just once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like asking you to like do more of this.
They literally don't have fire?
They have fire that they use like for cooking. Like they cook stuff, but they haven't used it as like a weapon like this,
Like a
because
liquid that you ignite that just fucking
well, like you just threw these things. You didn't even it wasn't
burning
even
oil.
particularly apparent
Yeah.
that you had a liquid. You were just like boom.
Yeah, Hokuma's only got one more bottle of lantern oil.
I don't think I have any.
So like she ain't exactly keen on spending it on impressing a party for a party trick.
Yeah,
When
okay.
like awaits. I think Hokuma will show them the oil lanterns though. Hokuma could maybe like light her like show them the bottles and like light her lantern like
Mhm.
briefly.
Mhm.
Just show them like this is what this actually is.
Okay. Yeah,
And like attempt to explain with her poor understanding of the language like I don't know, like water from fish that burns. I have fat from fish that burns.
Did we do a check at some point for like understanding the language? Like, could I try to? I don't know what my level of understanding is.
yours is currently 1.
Yeah,
But just like,
Hokuma's been trying really hard to understand the language this whole time. It's only kind of succeeding.
Yeah. So all right, so they let me move the time forward a little bit. The chieftain is like initially wants you to like make more. Like at first he's like, how like how do you do this? And you explain like, oh, it's this
Fish.
stuff. It's like I got this stuff and I use it for like small fire, and then it goes boom.
If there's a lot of it.
Yeah, but you're like, only like this is the last one that you have, and he's like, uh, I'm gonna say that he wants it from you.
What should I ask in return? Well, I'm looking for this book. I also need my wounds healed. I mean, this guy's in so much of my debt, but like I got like I want a battle for him. I got his pyrite chieftains out. Like Okuma and this dude should be super tight. So I
Well,
think I'd
I
be
mean, at the
willing.
same time, you wrote $1 billion check to a blue collar worker here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if he's in your debt. Like, how much does he have?
Well, I'm
What
thinking
ability
like
does he have to pay you
I'm
back?
thinking of things that he has or things that he can give me. Which like what I want are information and hit points. uh, information is I imagine he doesn't have the time to tutor me in his language. So that's not happening. Yeah, but I need bacterial goo and like I don't know, fucking. So this book that I'm looking for,
Uh-huh.
I suppose I could ask him about it. I don't know. Like, there's little chance he would know about where it is.
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's subject. And yeah, I'll give him a pint of oil for healing and for book
Okay,
knowledge.
you hand him the you make yeah, you roll intelligence.
Okay,
And I'd say this is like scholarly work here, trying
that
to,
makes sense.
or you can roll charisma.
I'll roll intelligence,
All right.
especially since I have a relevant. I don't think House of Topos is that relevant to this, other than like the brutality that Hokuma has displayed.
Sure. Well, I mean, like the battles between the Yellow City trade houses are not this kind of violent in nature.
Yeah, although House of Topos specifically is known for its cruelty. Um,
Cruelty, yes, but like warfare, no.
yeah, there's an active war going on in the Yellow City, at least between the slug houses. You know, between human gangs, sure. It's actually more of her qualities as a human from the Yellow City that Hokuma learned this level of violence, not. Anyway, I'll take the intelligence roll. Well, damn. Best
right.
result was 18. Yeah, it was. Um,
All right, so you he takes the oil from you and he points you towards where they've got the field hospital set up
mhm.
as far as like for healing goes, and but other than that he doesn't seem to understand, or he doesn't really seem able to help you with this book.
Okay. No, I'll go to the field hospital. Mildly disappointed and covered in mud and smelling a little, smelling like fire and bacteria, like just
Yep.
rotting fish.
Rotting fish. Okay, so let's zoom in here, since that's where all the action's going on. I'm going to leave them up on the wall there. Boy, this would be a good time to erect another wall.
Yeah, yeah, it would. Unfortunately, migraines.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, where did I put those? Oh, right, the algae potions. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah. Roll 2d3.
2d3.
And thank you for reminding me. It's wrong music. This is not quite battle music right now.
4. We back at 5.
Yep. All right. What does Doc want to do in this downtime between surviving this wave and what is sure to come?
Well, I'd like to talk to the chief
Okay.
in a manner in which we can both be accustomed. I don't know. Try to figure out how we can talk.
Yeah. It's just like the same that Maggie was doing, just like describe what you want to say, and we'll
Let's see how it goes.
let's see how it
Well,
goes.
I want to say like we can aid you in defenses.
We can?
Ooh,
Not that Hoka was here to
we
ask
can
questions.
aid you
But
in tactic, in tact.
Sure. So you're trying to tell him like, hey, we know, or I have understanding of fighting like war and can help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems like he's like what all help useful, or any help good.
All right, so I want to know like what we have, like what he has, in terms of it. Like, has his people ever had to defend against anything before on the scale? Like, is this an ongoing conflict, or is this the first time that the
Oh no, this is a generations old conflict between.
yeah the Catholic have been fighting them forever?
Yeah, they
it's like a blood feud.
yeah, it's like it goes back generations
Actual McCoy shit.
for sure. All of when Buscoso and Hokama were finding the piratized chiefs, they like the ones that showed up were the ones who were aware of this. Like they all came at first. They were like, "Nah, we don't really care." And then they were like, "No, no, no, it's Capex." And they were like, "All right, it's sword time.
Yeah, let's go. Let's fuck them
Let's
up.
go."
So I
And
want to know about the weakness. I want to know about the weaknesses of the Copex as well, if they know any.
they are made. They're short. They're weak. They're made of flesh, and they don't wear armor. They don't have good gear. Yeah, they're very much these like they're very very primitive.
So what do we have in the way of like raw materials in this small area, this little town?
Inside the village itself is made out of like the buildings, the houses, everything are made out of they're like these boat houses that are made out of woven reeds that collected from the banks of the lake, sort of like cattails. Where it's just like these mats of these different types of reeds, but there's almost no metalwork to be found. What metalwork you do see, like the only people who have swords are these chiefs, the chiefs past and present, and the swords that they have are like very roughly made, low quality iron that has been like beaten into a shape and given an edge.
What we need is some mercenaries.
This was
Do you know of any? Do you know of any mercenary tribes nearby?
I don't think there's a lot of people nearby.
No one nearby.
These guys were floating on a kilometer-tall lake or kilometer-deep lake, just like fishing. Well, everyone else
also,
here
it kind of is a
doesn't
kilometer tall lake.
a kilometer tall and deep.
Yep. Yeah, like they were floating on the surface of the lake. Their whole village was floating on the surface of the lake, and the Capex would like attack them in the water. That's the sort of combat that they are used to. Is like
How
being
deep is
in
the lake?
right now. It's gone.
It's all gone.
We're behind the dam, which burst.
Yeah. Oh
So all
yeah.
the water
Let me
was-
show you. I haven't shown you the overland map, so we'll go there for a second.
Looks pretty messed up.
yeah,
Lots of
you
purple.
see the
Yeah,
the-
this is the dam,
Yeah.
and this is the pit.
in the lake bed.
Yeah, everything that's purple is like lake bed.
Okay.
So there's like no one and nothing around. They were extremely isolated up here. Like they don't even share a language with the people from Vin Drin Dop, and no one that you've talked to has mentioned anything about, these lake people up here.
Yeah.
Nobody's known anything about the people above the dam.
Yeah, like no one told you anything about like, oh yeah, and then once you get above the dam, like you can go talk to the dam people up there.
Yeah, because also
The old dam people.
the people who built the dam, everyone we've ever spoken to has spoken to us as though they are completely, totally extinct from this world.
Okay,
And
I
there's
guess something
small group
like
of people.
I'd like to ask the chief is like, how have you survived so far?
He says, we live, fish, eat, fuck, die.
Stunning.
Fair enough.
But the raids, the raids that these people, these APEC do, like, what do you do in that situation? Like, how do you defend yourself against them?
He says, before Capex steal sacred waters, only small groups, small attacks.
Wait, sacred waters. What is this? What are the sacred waters?
He like gestures all around him.
All of this is sacred water. Everything.
Yes.
Why? So they steal it? Like, is it not everyone's? Or is this up for purchase?
It says like no, like it's our water.
Oh, I see. You have claim on it.
This
You
all
claim
makes
on
perfect
this water.
sense to Dr. Levinson.
This is your water.
It belongs to them. So obviously they're right to kill people over it.
So, why have you ever made a compromise? That might be a bit. That might be a bit gauche. A trade, water for something.
Peace?
They want your water, so you couldn't negotiate.
He says sacred waters, like gone sacred waters.
Now it is.
No, nothing. Air, not sacred. Dangerous.
So what happened? What happened to get rid of the sacred water?
Capex.
It was their fault, really. Really, they did this.
I mean, they aren't aware of anyone else in existence.
Like,
This doesn't seem,
generational enemy, Capex.
it doesn't
Generational
seem like they
enemy
have the ability.
take sacred waters from under boat.
It really doesn't seem like the Capex have the capability to destroy your lake. if anything, it seems like a really bad deal for them as well.
Roll a charisma check here.
Okay.
We'll switch scenes too.
So could I have my trade house aplesia in terms of commerce and reasoning, maybe?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, good.
I suppose. I came across right as I said that.
Double 18.
It was meant to be 18.
Ugh.
He gestures at this large scar across his chest and says that like trade gift Carl.
I see. Carl gave you that.
And then he gestures at one of the piratized chieftains, and each of them like he gestures to one of them is like is missing an arm, and you can tell this didn't just happen during the battle. Like it's piratized over the stump there, and he says trade gift old Carl, and gestures to one of the chieftains who's like like has damage done to the side of their face and their neck, like some pretty grievous looking damage done there, and is likewise has been piratized over. And he says again, trade gift old Carl. Like sacred waters. Like now Carl takes sacred waters.
It seems like a very old conflict. Would your people be willing for a peace talks? Negotiation. I need at least one half of you to be completely willing.
He shakes his head and is like, do
you want to be
like peace
this?
Impossible?
Do you want to be like this? Like your ancestors? Your elders? You want to be like this when you are old? You want your children to be like this? Or you want peace?
He just says again, like, well, make a roll for that.
Is that charisma?
Yeah, definitely. You're trying to persuade somebody.
Yeah.
There's
one.
Yeah. He stops and, like, when you say, like, do you want to end up like these guys? He like pauses and stops and says, you are outsider. You are not knowing read people. You are not knowing anything about us.
No, you've got me there. I have no inkling of your decade long. I couldn't begin to understand your decade-long, multiple generation-long conflict, but I have seen similar conflict, and I have helped in similar conflict, and I would like to help you.
Yeah, he's just gonna say again, like, there no agreement with Carl. No
You don't think he
no
would agree?
future with Carl.
You don't think they would agree to the talk? Can
No.
you understand each other? Can you understand each other?
Well, I think Maggie can answer that one. Having talked to both of these people.
I doubt it. Yeah, I imagine Kokuma is like walking back, and like there's not like there's really anything to wash her clothes with, but like the
there's more mud.
Yeah, like the mud's scraped off, but that's as good as it's gonna get. It's like mud drying to her clothes, and she like smells like whatever that bacterial concoction smells like. I don't know, like kombucha Pepto-Bismol is sort of the smell.
Kombucha Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol. Hey, Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, she's like walking over. Looks better than she did when she was badly burned and covered in mud, but it's still just like, I fucking hate this place. Okay, I don't mind if all of these people just die, but
what these people need are mediators.
Hoka was like, yeah.
Can we agree on that?
But sure, they need that.
Can we act as that?
Why on earth do you want to do that, Dr. Levinson?
Profit.
What do they have out here, Dr. Levinson? All I see is slime and fools. Slime and fools.
If I'll be completely transparent, it's for profit.
Hidden behind an ocean of slime and fools.
Step 1, survive battle. Step 2, negotiate peace in the middle of a combat. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, profit.
I mean, so
this is a completely untapped region.
So thinking about what Hokuma could do, aid Doc Levinson's goals. Hokuma does have an incredibly nice tea set and magic centered entirely around that tea. And she could, with a night's rest, prepare herself to bind two people together.
This is what we need. We need to fuse.
We
need to have them understand each other.
Yeah, I have an unprepared miracle that can't be alive without you. Which, I think it would absolutely be an apple. I also have a miracle that's unprepared, that's pushing into straw effigies, pushing into straw effigies, pushing into straw effigies, 9-inch nails, 9-inch nails, 9-inch nails. So, if we want to hurt people, we also can do that.
Let me violate you.
Help
me, open on the inside.
But yeah, with a long rest, she could bind these two. Like, she could bind two people's lives together, or rather, two people's souls together.
What
essence?
What do you want?
I mean, but the two people would have to agree to that. Like, they'd have to sit down for a tea ceremony together, and we have such a poor understanding of their language, and
does everyone understand the white flag?
Do we?
There's
Like, is that a symbol we have?
the Yellow City has to have some sort of like.
Sure. I mean, I'm I'm not so deep in the weeds of this like culture that I'm gonna be like, no, they've got this other completely
A white flag. A white flag transcends language.
a white
Does it-
flag.
does
A white
Buffalo-
flag works between us, the players. We understand that, and anyone watching this understands that.
Yes. But also, like,
We
How-
approached them. We approached the Carl unarmed
I don't know.
as we have to parlay.
I mean, there would have to be a
We do
major
that
piece.
with a tea ceremony. These people agreed to a tea ceremony.
Hogaba, like, if you can, Hogaba's not gonna do this unless you can get like Octude to be like, yeah, sure, because like Hogaba's like, I am not going out to Carl after burning his people alive.
No.
Like,
You're gonna be.
hey,
You'll
We're
be back.
friends, right?
You'll be back. You'll be back in the back. Don't worry.
I mean, I'm the one who would conduct
This
this.
will be on our. We'll have a middle ground. We'll have a We'll have some sort of
We'll
DMZ.
meet in no man's land and play soccer on Christmas.
Yes,
Um,
that's what it takes.
all right, Hokaba's gonna. I'm gonna think about how we do this. Okay, so Hokaba's gonna turn to Octoon Vingana. It's finished speaking in the trade tongue, and begin speaking in her broken attempts at his language. And then he like, Carl didn't steal sacred water. I know who stole sacred water.
He looks like completely shocked and is like you must tell me.
All right, Echo stole sacred water. Raven stole sacred water.
Roll a charisma.
All right.
That's that is a big fucking lie right there.
I mean, I actually don't know who stole sacred. It seems like accident stole sacred water.
Well, yeah, but it is definitely a lie if you're like Echo stole sacred waters.
Yeah. Does my House of Topos like wheeling and dealing apply here?
That's exile from House of Topos.
Yes.
I don't
like
see.
The
I
nature.
don't see how your affiliation with House of Topos would
Yeah.
really work there.
All right. So I'm just gonna roll straight charisma. Big money, no whammies. Oh.
Oh no, whammies. The dreaded whammies.
I mean, it was a coin toss,
Yeah, right. He
and,
says,
one face of that coin was potentially, and then I explode.
he says, we know, like, small area, everyone know everyone, no Echo,
All right.
no crows.
Malcolm was gonna be like fellow outsiders, similar outsiders to us.
Is their language good enough to have two different versions of no, but not another word to link them?
I mean, okay, if you want me to,
No,
like,
no.
if you want me to, like, speak some pigeon ancient, like, I'll just find some ancient Indonesian and I'll just say that to you and you'll be like, I got no fucking idea. I'm trying to play a game, Billy.
No.
Yeah. Well,
This is lockpicking and Fallout, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't the lockpicking lawyer.
So yeah. So Hogan's gonna be like, I've spoken to Carl. I've met Carl. Carl says you stole sacred water, and that's why he needs to kill you. You say Carl stole sacred water, and that's why you need to kill Carl. Neither of you stole sacred water. Dam is gone. That is why sacred water is gone.
You
All right.
probably both stole the damn sacred water.
Carl's going to dry out and die because sacred water gone. Your people going to starve because sacred water gone. Madness to steal sacred water.
Yeah, roll another charisma check there.
Like, this is obviously, like, at least the Chocobo, this is clearly just, like, ridiculousness. Oh, shit.
Yes.
Got the coin on its side.
Wait, oh, I see. I was like, how did you roll the same thing twice and it was different? All right. Okay. When you explain that, like, you know, everyone's going to die on both sides of this, he's like, maybe right, maybe not. Carl stole sacred water, but no, but not agree with Carl. Carl die.
What if
Carl die,
What if
or
Carl didn't die?
Octun die.
What if Carl die, Octoon die magically?
Okay, so, like, you say that, and he's just like, you with Carl?
No, I'm with me, just me. I just think that you and Carl are like ridiculous.
He's like, all right, Maggie.
I think cool joke.
All right, Maggie. This is something that, like, Hokumo would probably see, is that, like, you have here a man who does not really understand what you're saying, but understands violence, is surrounded by guards, and a group of people wielding giant machetes covered in crystallized iron.
Yeah.
And you're like, what if you die?
Okay. Yeah. What if you and Carl bound as brothers forever?
That disgusting. That repugnant. That unnatural.
It's certainly unnatural. What if Carl could never kill you?
Carl never kill me anyways.
Carl seemed...
Me kill Carl. Me stronger, bigger. More stronger and bigger than.
The big.
I am at full cock now.
Yes. I think as calling back to my previous point that was convincing, just like Hogan's gonna point at the dam and be like, big, and point it like, and like sort of gesture at like the rotting lake bed and be like, big, and point at herself and point at Carl and point at Octoon and be like, nothing. Like, minuscule. Doomed.
He's going to say, you nothing, me also big.
Mm. Hokuma's gonna point at the two fires in the wall and be like, nothing?
He's going to like gesture to himself and the chieftains behind him, and then point at the pit with like the steam shooting out of it and the spikes and the giant blocks of onyx, and say like, us ancient big big, we are the big to stop.
Mm.
You nothing. Carl nothing. Us the big.
I want to show him.
Hopeless situation warriors.
Yes, that they are.
I want to show him the demon core.
Okay. Gotta get that body count all the way up.
I want to show him, like, somehow show him the power of the demon core. If that means, like, I can use my electricity.
That is.
To...
Yeah. How are you going to show him the power of the demon core?
I would like
I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know either. Because there's no metal to speak of, or any sort of, like...
I mean, y'all are wearing plenty of metal stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, as much metal as any random person wears. Which is more than any metal that you see really around to you.
How does the demon core present its energy?
Probably very warm.
It's just it's a big mystical kind of thing.
Would you say it's a lump of plutonium?
Just look like, well, I kind of what are the seeing stones from Lord of the Rings? That's kind of what I envisioned it as.
Because I just am imagining this like smooth orb of seemingly like just gray metal that's just perpetually warm, and just like incredible things are possible with it. You encase it in steel, and a city explodes. And worlds burn. Hooker was gonna charge Doc Levinson and be like, Doc, dude, like the invocation of the nihilistic fact that all of these people are going to die within like probably a month, it was not enough to convince them that they should probably do something to like save themselves from the situation other than just kill each other. I don't know. I think these guys have made up their mind. Hopeless situation warriors, they are.
I'm not too convinced yet that they've made up their minds on killing each other. He seemed open to negotiations.
Yeah, and then y'all insulted him.
Pokemon insulted him. Damn it.
And Hogan was like, you're all gonna die. Like, you're all gonna die as small, little, pathetic dots in an empty lake bed.
Yeah, but that's not how, like...
Yeah.
The lake bed is his world.
I know.
Like, just because you know that there's other cities and
World beyond this.
yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And to him, this is the biggest thing that he can do. Like he is the biggest guy around. He is Hercules in his mind. He is Gilgamesh, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, if he's Arjuna, what he needs right now.
He needs to be shown the shape of the cosmos.
Yeah.
Actually, hold
Well,
on.
all right. I want to just I'll hand it to him.
No,
I'll hand him the demon.
I have
I'll
an
hand him
idea.
the demon.
I think I have a way to show him the shape of the world.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I'm going to invite him to have tea with me.
Okay.
Show my tea set. Be like, share water. Me share water with you.
How you make water?
Chocobo's got some rations.
Sure.
I don't mean like holy water. I mean like,
I mean, don't you?
no, I have a holy symbol,
I know.
which is my tea set.
I know this. That was a question from him. Like how
Yeah.
you make water?
Ball? I just like holds up a water skin. As like water.
Yes. How you make water special?
Hokoma's got her leaves, and she's like, leaves. Soulful leaves. Beautiful
Soulful
leaves.
leaves.
Delicious leaves.
What he's like, explain what is special water how?
What is special water? How? Special water. Special water. Sacred to Hokoma. Sacred outside. Make life worth living.
Never send a nihilist to
meanwhile,
interact
Hokuma,
with a.
someone asking Hokuma like, why is tea good and important? Hokuma, who has lived her entire life inside the Yellow City, is just like, what do you mean? Like,
You might as well ask, why is air important?
yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Sure. Roll a charisma check with advantage. Because I feel like
I am
this.
offering
I
him
think.
taste mix.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, this is definitely. It's definitely charisma because you're trying to. But I don't think it's like. I don't really think it's applicable to House of Topos though.
No.
Well, okay, then again, it is
It's applicable
a
to my vocation, but I'm not deft, so.
right, but it is House of Topos is a slug house from the Yellow City where the three most important the pillars of the economy are knowledge, opium, and tea.
Yes. Yeah, I am like, this is like my religion.
Yeah, and
It's actually more it's my religion and my drug.
I don't know, religion's the opium of the masses.
Yes.
But these days it's kind of also opium.
Opium is the opium of the masses, it turns out.
It sure does.
Actually, I think heroin is the opium of the masses, unfortunately.
I mean,
No, they're all pretty bad.
it's still an opioid.
Percocet is the opium of the masses.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking. That's what I mean.
So go ahead and roll with
With advantage?
charisma. Yeah, with advantage. Roll advantage with charisma.
Roll charisma with a charisma. Well,
Wow, brutal. Yeah, so Acton is not really he isn't really phased by what you have to say, and is like declining. Like he's like, I have more important things to do, basically. But while he does that, one of the piratised chieftains steps forward and gestures in a
like I get to try a new thing.
yeah, it's like
my life.
Do that, and then Octun turns and like it is very surprised by this and like talks to him really quickly. Chieftain's dead. He's not really saying a whole lot.
It's not very articulate.
Not verbally.
Yeah.
He's very articulate for a corpse. That's
true. He's in fact incredibly articulate.
But so roll both of y'all roll a wisdom check. Or no, sorry, intelligence. This is like language, figuring out something dropped in this language.
Is it engineering based?
No. That's not the sort of engineering that he knows.
Good shit.
Cool. So Levinson, you pick up that this specific piratised chieftain is Octon Bengana's father.
Oh.
Guys, what?
It's his father.
His daddy.
So like the one who was like, yeah, I'll drink your fancy tea, and is now like he was the previous chieftain and the father of the current chieftain.
Okay.
That's just like something that you picked up from like the interaction that they have here. But he eventually like pushes the piratised chieftain pushes the current chieftain aside and like makes gesture for you to like set a table, I guess.
All right. Hokuma is going to...
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, Hokuma's gonna Hokuma's gonna like unroll like her tea set. She's got her mat. She unrolls it. She gets like she has like her tea. She like I suppose she just borrows from these like people like a small amount of reeds to start a small fire with, and her little stove.
You just take a bit of wall.
Yeah, she starts a small fire. She heats the water, and then she brews for herself a cup of tea, and then takes one sip from it, and then gives it to the pyrite chief.
All right. He takes it from you and then like cracks open his pyritized mouth, inside of which are like pyrite covered teeth, and he just like
Reels.
Yeah.
God, I imagine this guy looking so fucking badass.
Like, I mean, you got some fucking badass scrap princess artwork going on there.
I'm looking at it.
Breaks off his jaw and just like tosses it down his neck.
Nah,
He
so
takes it off, drinks it, puts it back on.
Hinge don't work.
he does the same thing. Like he does exactly what, or he imitates your exact motions. You know, trying to like follow along, do the same thing, and he only takes one sip of it.
All right, I'm going to like. Hokuma's gonna like, maybe like, kind of like fiddly, like as someone who's like fiddling, begin like making another cup of tea, and like offer him to keep drinking, asking him if he likes the tea.
He.
I don't know how much it can taste,
Yeah.
but maybe the warmth is soothing.
Yeah, sure. Like he like makes a gesture, is just like.
Hokuma's like, "This is your first time, like generosity."
It's gonna fucking melt his. It's gonna melt his mummified insides.
And
Just
he's
fucking
about,
dissolve him.
Hokuma's about to melt this guy's brain. You want to know the truth, Arjun? The whole truth? All right. Does he finish the tea? Does he keep drinking it?
If you are instructing him to do that, then yes. Yeah.
All right. Then I'm gonna cast Who Are You? My miracle. And I'm going to use it essentially to just share with him, just like Hokuma, like it's just like there's not much danger to Hokuma in doing this. Hokuma is just going to share with him like the like existence she has had in the Yellow City, traveling here, the like just the like the incredible violence she has seen along the way here, and also like her time as a Tenebral scholar and going to the dark side of the planet to meditate in the cold, staring at the stars, just like her attempts at astrology.
Sure.
I
mean, what is astronomy but meditating in the dark and staring at the stars?
Yes.
Writing it down.
Yeah, sure.
Make a map.
It
requires some sort of
telling someone else that you did so, I guess.
Yeah. You gotta talk to people about the stars. They're cool shit.
So yeah, so she's going to cast to share that with him. I don't know what you want me to like spend in terms of hit points to do that. Like she's essentially like giving this guy like the picture as she has it of the planet and like of life and like of prosperity, because she's experienced like cities.
Well, it was 2 HP the last time you did it.
Are you Tarzaning this?
That was me like extracting somewhat unwillingly from people, but sure, I'll spend the 2 HP again. I'm once again.
You're right. You're right. I was just looking at what you had the way you casted there, but and that was for multiple people. So I would say that this could be one, because it's just you are not gaining any information. You are disseminating information, and
George,
and he's willing and all of that other jazz.
Poor guy.
Yeah, and he's willing and he's drinking the tea. So yeah, Hokuma just like, I guess like I imagine for Hokuma's experience, she just is like flitting through her memory. Maybe I could roll charisma or wisdom or intelligence to be like, how well does she do at like censoring the parts of her memory that are maybe unflattering to her?
I would say that would cost more.
No, like just like her attempt at it. Just give myself the opportunity to fail. And whatever. Sure. It's the ugly truth, as Hokama has it.
Yeah. No, I'll say make a what would that be?
Your own mental self-control. I imagine wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah. Yeah, roll wisdom.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, okay, so you can definitely like she does sort
Also,
of
like,
choose which parts.
really what Hokama's trying to protect is the secret of stealing the soul.
Sure.
The
Um
thing that makes
so
her.
yeah, so you share this tea with this guy and you show him the world outside, and his face does not react very much. You know, it's almost like it's like
Made of
staring into
stone.
a hard pyrite mask. Yeah, like he doesn't have any sort of like much facial reaction,
Does he drop the
but
cup?
no, he sets it down on the table in front of you and just stands up and just like as he's walking away from the table, just like he starts heading towards the he starts heading towards the pit, and as he does, he just like stops beside Hokama and like puts his hand on her shoulder and just like makes eye contact with her, like a
Hokama's got that face that like every 10-year-old does when like an old person they only kind of know, like, it's like, I'm being very genuine with you. And as a like snot-nosed little kid, you're like, what? 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 You know exactly what I'm talking about?
I'm just imagining that that meme with the cat, the very polite cat that just has like the smile that is a perfectly flat line.
Yes.
But yeah, and he just wanders off to the north a little ways, and bloop is just like standing at the edge of the village.
All right.
And just like he's looking off towards the pit for a moment before
Gonna
he
Doc Levinson and just like shrug. He's like, I affected him.
that worked. How do you
I don't know
know?
what it
It's
it worked.
obvious.
I don't know what it did, but it worked. Huckman's
Yeah,
gonna turn to Arjun and be like, it's pretty cool stuff, this tea.
So then, after a minute, the chieftain comes back and just walks up to Aktun Bengana and like takes Aktun's sword away from him.
Cool.
Oh shit! Even Hokum was like, "Oh fuck, sorry, man."
Regime change.
And he takes his sword, or he takes a sword and walks off towards the he's got his two swords in one hand and he walks down trying to move it on the wrong way there, or on the wrong side there. Moves down here towards one of the, towards where the battle was, and he grabs one of the Capex, like the slain Capex, grabs one of the slain Capex and just like lifts it up over one shoulder, and walks over. Dang, I keep trying to move it on the one that I'm using. I've got Foundry pulled up twice, and one of them is just for streaming, and the other one's for me to actually control stuff.
I'm watching your cursor, and it's very funny. I can like see you be like, and drag and get over here.
But he walks over towards where the Carl Capek is, and he's just got like the Capek there and the swords held up, and one of the groups of Capex comes out to surround him.
Hokuma's gonna like maybe start jogging up, being like, "What are you doing? What is happening?"
Can I try to rummage a white sheet?
Bring your bed.
Sure. For Hokuma, roll Dex and I don't know, Wisdom, I suppose, Intelligence. What do you roll to rummage?
I'd rather do intelligence. If that's cool.
All right.
Are you smart enough to think to bring this with you?
No.
No, I mean like that's the intelligence roll. Like,
Oh yeah. I guess I am.
Guess you were. Now you're able to find like a some of the like reed cloth that the fibrous the reed fiber cloth that they have. It's like a sort of like linen.
All
And
right,
you're
yeah,
able to find like a sheet of that just like staying around.
Rush up with the.
Yeah. And where's
Put it on
Hokuma also
stick.
running out?
I get, yeah. I mean that's what I was like. I'm gonna run up and just be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
Parlay. Parlay.
Talk to Carl.
Parlay. We want to speak with Carl.
All right. So these yeah.
I don't think
At
the
this
Pyrite
point,
Chief-
at this point, the Capex are like, there's like 10 of them that are coming to like surround you, and they have like they have dangerous intent in their eyes. They're like menacing with these spears, and
No. And I'm like gesturing towards the fallen king, I guess. Just like, put it down. Put it down.
Yeah. So the chieftain is still just like standing there. He's not doing anything at this point. He's just like holding the Capek in one hand and the two swords in the other hand, and he's just like holding the swords. He is not like wielding them.
no brandishing is going on.
Yeah, he is like, you know, these are objects. I have to hold them. And the Capex are around you, and they've got their spears facing inwards, and then you hear a croak from behind them as Carl Capek communicates with them in some way that like you are like in Capek, and they instead they just grab all of you, like all three of you.
We're getting like, I'm just imagining like just like some Star Wars like stormtroopers manhandling Princess Leia, but they're like 3-foot tall salamander people.
Well, what they do is they grab
You're
for
working
all
with
of your
a-
weapons.
They are once again disarmed by the K-Fix.
Yeah, actually, they are also, given the situation, they are also going to like beat you around a number of times with the back ends of their spears.
I'd light them on fire.
Yeah. That's gonna be 1 damage to each of y'all if you don't try to resist in some manner.
Could I roll con?
To what? Just tough it out?
I guess.
Yeah.
No, they are like
Beating the shit out of me.
they are like going police brutality on you.
Oh,
They are making sure that by the like if you try to pull something, that
It
you
will
are
s-
not in a good condition to do so. You have been physically warned or physically dissuaded from taking violent action.
Whoa,
Yeah.
ow, my guy. Ow. I got my hands up.
Yeah,
Come
they're going
on.
to disarm you. They're going to take any weapons, and they are going to like make sure you know that even though they're shorter, they are going to hurt you.
Is this a stop and frisk?
I mean, I did light them on fire, and you did electrocute one of them. Like, we are the ones who escalated the situation to chemical warfare. All right. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, Dex or Con. Like, there isn't really like, other than like, I don't know, like maybe charisma to intimidate them. To just be like, Hogaba's just like, I fucking lit you guys on fire. Like,
Uh-huh.
do not fucking touch me. Like, she'll hand over her weapons willingly and just be like, do not. Like,
Yeah, you can try.
I am death.
That's gonna be at disadvantage, though.
Okay. I'll do it. It's every hit point really counts.
Boy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go on.
She's real scary.
All right.
You're at disadvantage.
It was
I got-
an 8 and
yeah.
a 7.
Yeah, I rolled good.
I want to see the 7.
If you click on where it says,
Oh, it's 2d20.
yeah,
I see.
if you click on the 7, it'll pop it down and explain
I
the entire
see it.
roll.
Nice.
That's how I did the morale check earlier. I just did 5d12 and then just did them in order. All right. Sure. So just Doc Levinson takes the 1 damage then.
Police brutality! Police brutality! Rodney King!
All right. So they bring you in front of the Carl Capek over here. And yeah, so as soon as they bring you in front of Carl Capek, he's just going to say, "So you interlopers return. Give me one good reason why I should not fillet your skin off where you stand."
Well.
Kokobo, you said enough.
You have thrown your lot in with the generational enemy. You have
With the
Only
hopeless
for-
situation warriors.
We're trying.
Yes.
We would like for you to come to a compromise.
There will
We
be
would
no
like you-
compromise.
Wait, just hear us out. Hear us out. There is
Hold on.
always compromise.
Hokuba's gonna like be like, Carl, I understand. You have every right to be very upset with me.
I have every right to kill you.
Maybe.
This
But-
is war here.
This bejeweled fellow here seems to want to offer you something that I think, that is not violence. I'm not totally sure what he's doing, but like I will tell you, Carl, that like I explained to him like the total truth of everything that I believe and know.
Is this Carl? Is this Carl the guy that killed this guy, or is this a previous Carl that killed?
I don't
this
know.
guy?
Well, the Carl says,
These guys got beef.
"Do you think I am intimidated by this man? I killed him once. I can
Okay,
kill him again."
I think this man that you killed, Carl, is about to give you a gift. I think. It's really hard to tell. He's like really old.
Yeah.
How old are you, Carl?
What is
So good.
time? We
Yeah,
are all newts in the river of time.
Hogo just has that moment of like, wait a minute. If this guy
Man, this was
has
philosophical
virus
as
on
hell.
Carl killed him, like how old
13
is Carl?
times in my life has the bark of the some tree split.
It sounds old. It does sound old, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna like look expectantly at the pirate chief, and I'm gonna be like, if you are interested, I can share with you what I shared with your enemy. That
Yeah,
the knowledge.
the chieftain is going to gently place down the slain Capek, and then lay down both of the swords at this dead Capek's feet.
Nice. This guy is badass. This is the shit I live for. How does Carl take that? Is he moved?
Let's see.
How moved is Carl?
Money,
Find
no
out.
whammy.
Yeah, right.
Just seeing those question marks made my anxiety spike a little.
Yeah, Carl is going to actually take his makeshift scythe spear thing he's got going on, and
His anime girl weapon.
yeah, his anime girl weapon, and he's gonna do his magical transformation, and in the name of the moon, he's going to punish this chief.
Naughty.
But he'll be stopped by someone throwing us a rose at them
Yes.
and then running away.
So
So Carl's going to take his his weapon, and swing it at the chieftain, and it's going to catch him in the neck, where he'd already the chieftain already has that damage on the side of his face going going on there, and Carl's going to like swings his weapon right at that damaged area, and it cracks a bunch of the pyrite crystals, but doesn't actually do any significant damage itself. And Carl is just going to like angrily look at this chieftain, but the chieftain is just going to continue to kneel there. And
I say, stop! Can't you see your it's this whole feud is futile?
This feud goes. It must be answered. This feud has escalated since they stole the sacred waters. There is no recompense. They have doomed us all.
There is no sacred
How can you not
water
see
anymore.
that?
No one
Yes,
stole the
I
sacred
understand that. It is gone forever now, and we will die because they have stolen it from us.
They're
They
also
didn't steal
going to
your
die,
sacred
Carl.
water.
They didn't steal the sacred water, just like you didn't steal the sacred water. Without the sacred water, they will starve.
Everyone needs the sacred water.
Someone
No
else
one
stole the
stole
sacred
it.
water.
They're in just as much dire straits as you are.
I can. You see how this man kneels before you, Carl?
He says, "It's difficult to see when I only have one eye, thanks to his son."
Well, he has given you his son's blade. I can share with you, Carl, what I shared with him that has moved him to seemingly fealty submission to you.
Submission sounds bad.
That's what's happening. If you kneel before someone and they strike you with a weapon and you do not move, that is... If you lay your head upon an executioner's block willingly, you are submitting.
And they cut your head off, but you're too hard because you're covered in crystals.
Yeah.
Too hard to
They're like,
die.
damn. That's called being a hard motherfucker. Literally.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I should move.
Should I, like, I don't know, roll charisma for my attempt to... I'm trying to convince Carl to have tea with me.
Yeah. Well, why? First off, you need to convince Carl that, like,
This guy's trying to not kill him.
No, like you convince him to do like you're not like, okay, so now we're going to like be friends, and he's still at the point of like, why shouldn't I just kill all three of y'all and then kill everyone in the village, because he was going to do that anyways.
What?
That's
It's
the
like,
point
what
he's
would that
at. He's
solve,
like,
Carl?
like, I'm just going to kill everyone, so why
you
should I
see-
stop right now?
All right.
Carl, do you see any sacred water around? Like, are you like, where is the sacred water? No one has
The
it. It's
water
gone.
of the lake is sacred to us. It gives us life. It is
And where
gone.
is it, Carl?
It is gone, and it has gone beyond the wall.
Exactly.
You are telling me nothing that I do not already know, and
I'm trying to confirm what you know. That it's gone. And
you are
these
wasting
people
my
didn't-
time, you are between
These
me
people did
and
nothing
my
to take
enemies.
Carl,
These people did nothing to take it from you.
Dr. Levinson, let me... Carl, do you know what's beyond the wall?
Death.
Yes. And now that death is here with you, and it is here for your enemy. It has come for you all. But also beyond the wall is life. And the only people who have ever your greatest enemy on this earth is the only other life that you know. And what's beyond that wall is, well, is people like me. And we are terrible. We are terrible, Carl.
You
And
don't
like,
seem to understand. They have destroyed everything that we had.
you know, they didn't steal the sacred water, Carl.
I know that they have doomed us, and I know that my people will not survive. What I am doing is getting revenge at the last chance that I have for everything that we have suffered as a people for generation upon generation upon generation. And this is the last moment that I have to make sure that these people who have done us wrong at every chance they have, that they die before I die.
Well, Carl.
You already succeeded with this guy. He's already dead. But obviously not.
Carl, this man here is willing to risk a second death at your hands and has disarmed his own son. Which, imagine, like, I don't know what your relationship to your parents was, Carl, if they were also Carl, or I'm sorry, Carl, I don't know a lot about being a K-Pack.
Carl, how is the relationship with your father?
Yeah. But, like, he has taken away his son's sword, the sword that cut your eye out, and given it to you to show to you that, like, he needs to offer you something that, like, his own desire for, like, his desire to see you die, Carl, that was so intense that it brought him back from the dead. He is willing to put that aside for justice instead of revenge.
Yeah, roll a charisma check there.
All right. Let's hope this coin toss is good.
Oh. Bumble.
Oh no.
I want to stop rolling dice.
This is not great.
I have rolled so many fumbles in this campaign.
You've rolled so many both like fumbles and crits.
Yeah. I got a
like...
coin and the coin says yes, or the coin says no.
Yeah, like that's two fumbles this
that
session.
Was 2 fumbles last session, 2 fumbles this session.
You did, but you fumbled this session, but you had advantage, so right. I think.
No, I was not rolling with advantage that roll.
That was just an attack. I mean, you should have had a combat advantage, so like a +2, because you had the high ground, but that wouldn't.
Whatever.
Yeah, it still would have been a fumble.
It is also getting rather late, Gobin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no idea how Carl takes, like, this man's offering you a chance at justice, and then, like, this apparently Tiferet just...
Yeah, Carl just responds to that and says the only justice will be when when their chieftain lies dead at my feet. That is the only justice for what they have done to us.
Without his sword, I think this man is offering you as close as he possibly can as that man's son, or as that man's father as he can.
You would risk another generation of war
When
when this man
is
is laying down arms in front of you.
This is the last generation. This is the last generation of my people. This will be the last generation of their people. And
it's already the last generation of their people, Carl.
That is not true. There are more of you downriver. There are not more of us downriver.
Why not, though? There could be. It's just you have to sue for peace at some time.
Well,
you have to compromise with other people.
Well, Carl, like, before you kill me,
before you kill all of us, Carl.
Yeah. Can I offer you the only gift I have to offer anyone, which is the water that I carry with me?
You very quickly ran away from your tea set.
No.
Well, you can always go back and get it. It's not like if he's to the point of accepting a tea ceremony, I'm sure he'll wait 5 minutes while
he is not at the point of accepting a tea ceremony.
Yeah.
He's very much not at this point. He is.
I mean, let's see. What have I got?
Give us peace.
I have, I suppose, the last. I'm like, if it's do or die, then like, I guess I could try casting without my tea set.
I mean, yeah.
Just make out with him.
It's pretty do or die.
Wouldn't that also be kind of like?
I think I'm gonna. I guess like rephrasing, or correcting myself difference, like with the water that I carry with me, Hokum is like, I have no sacred water I can give you other than my own blood.
Oh God. Blood tea. Gross.
Well,
I don't even have my tea leaves with me. Although there are teas that are fermented in blood in the Yellow City.
There sure are.
They're into some fucked up shit in the Yellow City, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Boy, are they.
Yeah, so what are you going to do?
I am, I suppose, going to, like, similarly, like, kneel before Carl. And, like, literally, like, bite my wrist open and be like, this is the only water I have that I can give you before I die.
Yeah, but okay, so like,
you're literally like putting her blood into these cups.
Like, and
there aren't any cups. She doesn't have a tea set. The whole tea set is on a table in the village.
Don't drink up, bud.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna stone cold execute someone, and like I'm a weird epic poem warrior, and they're like, "All right, but before you kill me, I will give you the gift of my life."
It's straight from the source.
Like, I feel pretty rude refusing that from someone I'm about to execute.
Okay, but like
this is bizarre.
What I'm attempting to do is cast 2 Argue again without my tea set. I don't know what that's going to cost. Who Are You, my miracle Who Are You, to do a similar thing that I did with the chieftain, but this time in so much worse circumstances.
Yeah. What is the progression? What is that spell progression there? I think okay, so the next step up from 2 is 1d6.
All right, that might kill me,
Yep.
but like
And
failure will I'm disarmed and in front of an army, in front of a guy who's like, why shouldn't I kill you right now? And I'm like, well, I fumbled, so the risk of death is better than certain death.
that's always the truth. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, d6, 2d6.
Alright, so should I just take the d6 and see if I can survive it?
Hold on. I'm trying to check the...
If I'm like Doc Levinson, take the last of my ham on. As,
Okay, so the wise can't attempt miracles with an initial maximum cost over their current HP, and if the cost is set or rolled above their level, they must save or have it doubled, which can be lethal.
the maximum
That's it.
cost. That's like the maximum possible.
I don't know.
Like, it's the number between 1 and 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, God damn it.
Christian, explain. Yeah, because I remember that rule. Like, I knew, like, as I was making this up, I was like, if it's D6, I don't know if Gobin will, like, I don't know what the rule there is.
Well, I think you just fucking roll 1d6, and you have to see if it's above.
If I can attempt it or not.
Yeah, if it's above 4 or not.
Above my health total, I just get a failed spell.
Yeah. Oh, yes! That's what happens. That is the risk there, Maggie.
You're welcome. Alright. Roll 1d6. I am, like, genuinely feeling the sensation of prayer. Alright, I'm about to hit her. I'm at 1 hit point.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn it! I will never see a fucking failed spell in this entire game.
You know what, Gopin? Give me my hit points back. Like, you keep giving me hit points, and I'll keep spending them. Eventually, I'll make it happen in these last few sessions. I'll promise you this, Gopin.
Alright. So
Hokuba's getting the whole shebang. I mean, Hokuba. Carl.
Alright. Well, alright. Well, not we've just established that, like, you're trying to cast this spell. But, like, you still need to, like, make it make sense to him why he should drink your blood, rather than you're just being like, well, you're gonna kill me, here, sip.
Sip my blood.
Because, like, if I had someone at, like, a scythe spear point, and they were just like, well, if you're gonna kill me, here, like, have some blood, I would be like, that's disgusting.
I guess, yeah. So I think.
But no, I mean, like, you're right. He is like hopeless poetic warrior versus hopeless situation warrior. But so, like, put it in those terms. Make it make
All
sense to him.
So, Carl, like, the sacred water is gone, and you are right in that, like, as a result of this, your people will die. And while the people who live in the Reed village will almost certainly also die, other humans will keep living, and that, like, the death of your people is the greater tragedy. And the people over there are, in a complicated sense, in a distant sense, my brothers and sisters. Like, I share some, like, I share some, like, I'm somewhat complicit in, like, the sin of the sacred waters being gone. And, like, you know, as, like, my final attempt, as, like, begging you, as, like, my, like, final, like, beg to you of, like, my, like, I don't know, contrition in this, I offer you, like, the last of the sacred waters that I have with me. Which is what's in my body. Assumedly, Hope has been drinking water while she's out here, and all of that water is the
Gee,
same.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, like, really, like, literally, the water in Hokuma's body.
We're all
sacred
Hydra
water.
homies in this universe. We all
Yeah, everyone here hydrates on a good and regular basis. Streamers.
We get our 8 liters a day of.
I reminded me to actually drink some water.
Pure fucking
Thank you.
hydro.
Ah.
Goodness. Oh yes.
Hydro whole meats.
Nothing hits like that good fresh water. Straight from the rivers of Yoon-Suin. Bottled on source.
I don't know if I want to drink bottled water from the lake behind the dam. It flows black and contains an ancient evil.
Yeah, it sure does.
These black waters.
Activated
These
charcoal.
black waters is
Good
evil.
for it detoxes. Anyway, so yeah,
Alright.
my plea to Carl of, like, this is it. Like, this is all that's left of the sacred waters, and I'm giving them to you.
Sure.
They're all that I have of them.
Roll charisma with advantage here.
I swear to God, if I fumble again.
Watch it just be like 2 20s.
Okay, don't say that to me, Coven. The last D&D session I played, I rolled double 20s.
Christian probably does put in a thing where it's like if you get a double negative roll, with advantage, you fucking die immediately. You poop your pants.
All right.
I will say that there's nothing
Everyone
like that in
laughs at
Whitehack, but there is stuff like that in Ultraviolet Grasslands, where it's like
Alright.
if you roll a 20, you roll another die, and if that is also a 20, then you roll another die.
To die for pooping your pants.
Nice. All right. So,
how much do you poop your pants?
all right. So Carl will, like, he doesn't really need to, like, kneel down or, like, lean down.
Lean over.
Yeah.
Dripping
and,
it into his mouth.
Yeah, he's like, I will accept your
My grace.
fuck no.
That's the Hokuma's being. She's being graceful in death.
He is like, I will accept your tithe of the sacred waters. And just, like, wraps his big old amphibian mouth over your arm and just, like...
It's a Pac-Man mouth.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you zoom in really close on that, he's got a funky little mouth with, like, some teeth sticking out and everything.
Yeah, he's a little guy. He's a little Agamemnon.
That is not a little. That is not a newt. That is just a man. That is a small man.
He's a little guy.
It's a little guy. Like,
Yeah. So
eat
he
that
like
blood.
he definitely like he drinks he drinks your blood.
All right, and I'm giving him the whole kit and caboodle.
All right. Yeah, you fucking hit him with it.
This is us. .jpg.
You know, Carl sees like where the sacred waters went, them destroying countless amounts of life.
Did they kill Winslow? I think that no, the
undead
other-
killed Winslow.
the undead killed Winslow.
Yeah, the horrors that they unleashed, and
Yeah,
then further
well,
back.
not so much the undead as like, well, who has always been around whenever there have been zombies around?
Yeah, the ravens.
Crows.
Crows, yes. Excuse me. Yeah, crows are social. Ravens are only form pairs. That's how you saw that. So yeah, all of that nightmare, and then like further back, like Hokuma's like splendor and like Hokuma's exile, and then like Hokuma's like splendor and success in the Yellow City. And she was like, binding like slugs together in like weird soul contracts. And then like Hokuma's like, time like beneath the stars, and then like, further back still into Hokuma's like young adulthood and adolescence. And just like, that like, and like also like Hokuma's with that experience, like Hokuma's like deep sense of absurdity at the conflict that is happening here and how incredibly small it is to that world. And like that, like, to choose life in this situation is the only choice that is meaningful, at least to Hokum, that sensation that she has. The argument that Hokuma has that is her entire fucking life. Which, in terms of a magical spell to cast, that is a deeply compelling one to me. Like, if I could argue with you with the entirety of my existence on this earth. I submit to the court.
My existence?
Yeah.
My entire existence is evidence to the contrary.
Yes. All right. I don't know what this means for Carl. That was some expensive tea, I gotta say. I hope he liked it.
You've been brewing it for a while there.
Yeah.
Carl's just like, oh my goodness. Oh, you've been eating the mushrooms. Oh no. I never should have ate the head hippie. My hands can touch everything except for themselves. Oh.
I'm looking at my hands, and it looks more like an eagle's claw right.
All right, so yeah, Carl like has this wild vision trip that Hokuma's a specialist in, and he says,
Holy shit.
Holy shit, that's gonna take me 2 weeks to think about what I need to say about
I'm
this
gonna
thing.
need some time for
I
to integrate that, but in the meantime, check us out on YouTube.
Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that button.
Were you in an origin?
All right. No, he's like, that's gonna take me some time to fully integrate all of that, and at the same time, like the chieftain is just like, yup.
I can't see one.
Yo,
Oh,
Yeah,
he's just nodding his head.
He's like, that was the real shit, wasn't it? You got the lowdown? Because, like, I just got the low. Like, oh god, this is gonna turn into a thing where everyone's like, oh come on, oh come on. Like,
Yo, give
I
me some of
wanna-
that shit.
yeah, give me that good shit. Hogo's gonna be like, I'm so tired.
I need more blood.
Yeah. But he says, I do not see a way towards peace.
Oh no. I just accidentally muted
there?
you all.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. He says, I do not see a way towards peace, but perhaps there does not need to be total annihilation.
That's
Treaty.
Carl. You have no idea how good that is. Hokuma's like
Such progress, Carl.
Hokuma's starting
Yes.
to like she's a little bit drunk because she has an 11th of the life in her.
Progress.
And
We've
she
opened up
normally
the
has-
ways of communication.
I'm feeling
Now
a little faint.
Actually, I'm gonna say that
Now-
Hokuma, like, having gone to 1 hit point twice in 1 day, is just like she's just gonna like she's just like that. That's exactly what I was trying to tell you, Carl. And it's just like falls down in the mud again, and it's like asleep. She's passed out and bleeding from her wrist still a little bit.
Yes, does anyone know a doctor?
I don't know
Okay.
Dr. Levinson.
Not
Of
that
course
kind
I know him.
Damn it, Jim.
He's me.
Damn it, Jim.
Anyway, so yeah, Hokuma's curled up.
Damn it, Hokuma. I'm a doctor, not a doctor.
I don't know if we want to leave it there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna need 2 weeks to figure out how to wrap that up from there. Let me quickly send this up. As you are as you are as y'all are like figuring out what's going on here, and is Levinson going to do anything to stop this bleeding? Because she is bleeding out, and she does
I
have
don't have
1
bandages.
hit point left.
I don't have a bandage.
I
Do I have
think
something?
you're
Can
wearing
I make something
bandages.
into it?
You could cauterize the wounds.
Can I make something into a tourniquet? Do I have some elastic? I don't know.
You're wearing clothes, I assume.
All right, yeah. I'll take off. I'll rip some of my own clothes.
Okay. And just like bind that wound. All right.
I
So
suppose. Yeah,
At
yeah.
least compress it.
we'll get rid of
Like,
bleeding there.
at least I'm just. Is it It's intelligence, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Intelligence.
But not my master engineer. That doesn't count.
I sure hope. Yeah. Doc Levinson's smart.
Success.
I love
All
when
right.
Doc Levinson's smart. favorite quality of Dr. Levinson.
He's smart. He is smart slug sometimes.
He is pretty smart. He's smarter than Hokuma is.
Smarter than your average slug. All right, so as
He's
you
more
are
expert.
standing there, like deciding, oh, hey, maybe, maybe we don't need to like murder everybody. You hear the scorching as the chieftain Acton Bengana and some of his reed people arrive in the mud behind you. And that's where we'll leave it until next time.
All right.
All
Yay.
right. So thank you once again for tuning in to our game. This has been another episode of Collaborators Without Direction. Bring your friends next time and watch us on twitch.tv/Kigali01 or on YouTube at Collaborators Without Direction. Until next time, don't forget to wear a raincoat.
And bring a change of clothes when you go to